Rumors of possibly seriously ill or dead Professor Jonathan Moyo have surfaced on social media, but so far there is absolutely no comment from the family about the sickness of Professor Jonathan Moyo or actually possible death. But the ghost accounts of ZANU PF, the ghost accounts that usually campaign for Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, one of those ghost accounts called Prince of Munu Mudaba, has actually reported that Professor Jonathan Moyo is dead, saying the family should actually inform the nation. They should no longer keep this secret. And there are many ZANU PF accounts that are, some of them are saying he is seriously ill from Kenya. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch. So we are waking up this morning with the rumor of a seriously ill or possibly dead Professor Jonathan Moyo. And the accounts that are pushing that narrative are the ghost accounts that usually campaign for Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa. But it must be said that there is no, at the moment, official comment of the death or serious illness of Professor Jonathan Moyo. But there are these pictures that are surfacing on social media. At the moment, it remains a rumor that is circulating on social media. Some of them are already sending their condolence messages. But so far, I must undertake, we are not actually a channel. Whatever we speak here is the truth. People knows it. We speak the truth that the regime is not comfortable with, and I would not love in my lifetime to wish anybody dead. Maybe I could have done so at a younger age without a maturity, but now as a mature human being, every one of us in this world, we will not live forever. At one point, condolences would be actually said on behalf of us when we are long gone. So everyone, we will never actually live forever in this world. But let me dissect. Is this rumor true or it's actually lies? If you look at the account of Professor Jonathan Moyo that he uses regularly, that is the X account. It's been long since he posted on that particular account, and that on its own is very suspicious. As a proof of life, Professor Jonathan Moyo, even if he has nothing to actually share with the members of the public, that is an account of himself. He usually he will actually share some stories that resonates with his political interest, or highlight some stories that are circulating online, giving insights on those particular stories. He has been in his last days associating with Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, played a very instrumental role in terms of actually pushing constitutional. In fact, he is the doctor behind the Breaking Barriers Initiative document. He is the brains behind Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026. Which actually, is now a law. And obviously, the life of Professor Jonathan Moyo is mysterious. This time around, did he take a good risk with associating with Mnangagwa? At one point, we know that he visited Zimbabwe secretly, but the faction of retired General Chiwenga quickly picked up that Professor Jonathan Moyo was in Zimbabwe. And at one point, Wicknell Chivayo offered to give him a car and possibly give him money if he comes back to Zimbabwe. But he never made that decision to come back home. And I've always said that Mnangagwa and Professor Jonathan Moyo knew it better than me. that Mnangagwa is an unforgiving human being. And Mnangagwa has no permanent friends. He has only permanent interests. It's a very, very selfish politician. Definitely, it was not a good decision for Professor Jonathan Moyo to be seen cozy or associating with his number one enemy. The way Professor Jonathan Moyo embarrassed Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, there was no way Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa was going to let him go, even if he had used him, even if he had played a fundamental role in helping him to navigate around retired General Chiwenga. We know that Ziambi has been frequenting to Kenya to actually consult with Professor Jonathan Moyo. Obviously, he became so comfortable with the enemies of his. If you become an enemy of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, you are a permanent enemy. And as such, for him to expect that Mnangagwa would forgive him, I think it was the gravest mistake, especially to work with Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. And if ever he is sick, definitely it is something it can be linked to Mnangagwa. Because now he has consulted, he has got Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026. But was it the right time to actually wipe him out? You can see the very same people that were using him are now using their ghost accounts to actually celebrate his death. For example, there is an account that is called the Prince of Munumutapa. That account is handled from the bedroom of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. It is the account that is pushing for the Mnangagwa, for the establishment of the dynasty of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. So definitely Mnangagwa did not forgive Professor Jonathan Moyo. But also Professor Jonathan Moyo, during the period of Camp 3, he was desperate. There is absolutely no one within ZANU PF who had a political understanding of maneuvering under the circumstances. I've always said that on Professor Jonathan Moyo, these are individuals without ethics. To him, whatever brings him money, if you give him money and you become the highest bidder and say to Professor Jonathan Moyo, here is a job, I want to turn these lies to be the truth. He is actually good at actually consistently trying to convince people that the lies are actually the truth. You cannot take away that from him. And historically, at one point, Professor Jonathan Moyo was critical of ZANU PF, publicly criticizing ZANU PF. He risked it and went to ZANU PF. He became a member of ZANU PF, helped Robert Gabriel Mugabe during the most crucial, difficult times. It is Professor Jonathan Moyo that sustained ZANU PF around the period 99, 2000, in fact, to 20, until he was actually, he assisted Gabriel Mugabe. There was at one point he worked with Mnangagwa. He tried to assist Mnangagwa during what is popularly known as the Cholocho Declaration. They had a secret meeting to unseat Robert Gabriel Mugabe. And Mnangagwa, by that time, and in fact, even in 2017, he has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he was a coward. Mnangagwa went to Robert Gabriel Mugabe and actually threw all of his allies under the bus. Robert Gabriel Mugabe believed him, embraced him, and even trusted him with the vice presidency. He did not stop to continue to work behind the back of Robert Gabriel Mugabe until we know it is history, what transpired in 2017 when eventually he got to be on the wrong side of the factions of ZANU PF. He found himself outside ZANU PF. And desperate, without money. At one point, he was in South Africa. At one point, he was in Kenya. And when everybody thought, no, Professor Jonathan Moyo is now hating ZANU PF. At one point, he wrote Pasine ZANU PF on his social media account. And then when the Breaking Barriers Initiative document surfaced, everyone was shocked to note that Professor Jonathan Moyo has been the brains behind the Breaking Barriers Initiative document, which gave birth to the political problem that Zimbabweans are currently facing at the moment. And he has been, as I reported earlier, frequenting to Zimbabwe, having a close relationship with the people of Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa, and he helped in penning down a constitutional amendment Act number 3. I remember at one point saying both Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa and Professor Jonathan Moyo, they are deceiving themselves. And I was saying to Professor Jonathan Moyo, he was setting up Mnangagwa against Chiwenga. He successfully did so. I strongly believe the relations between Chiwenga as well as also Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa, I mean, will never be amended again. It's actually, they are highly tainted to be amended. And in some way, even if he can be reported dead today, Professor Jonathan Moyo managed to revenge against the retired military generals, more than 151 of them who are at the moment dead. Some were who were the enemies of him, who ousted him from ZANU PF, who made his life to be miserable. It is the retired military generals and Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa. He used Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa to actually get rid of these other retired military generals, and also to set up Mnangagwa against Chiwenga. It's either between the two of them, someone is working to eliminate one of them. And whoever wins, whatever the game that he may have played politically, even if he dies, he understood the risk. I mean, there is nobody who understood the risk he was taking more than Professor Jonathan Moyo. Even at one point, if he may have relaxed, leading to these rumors that we are hearing. But I must underscore that we cannot actually attribute this to be news at this stage. It is a rumor. We are seeing the pictures of Professor Jonathan Moyo on life support. Whether they are AI generated, we don't know at this stage. But what I must confirm is that they are rumors. And also checking on his social media account, Professor Jonathan Moyo, even if he had nothing to write, he is someone on a daily basis who would be actually reposting the other people's stories that are actually retweeting. In fact, it's called retweeting other people's actually post. But these days, he has not been doing this for quite some time. I think the last time I checked, if he last ended the posting, was it in June, if not in July, where Professor Jonathan Moyo last was seen being active on his social media account. We know he has been very, very active on X, leading various debates. I don't, for a moment, wish anybody dead. Those who have wronged the society, I wish that they live to be punished through the laws, through a fair criminal justice system, and be asked the tough questions as to why they put the lives of so many people, they made their lives to be actually miserable. So I must say, Professor, whatever happens to Professor Jonathan Moyo, at the moment, he wanted to revenge. Did he successfully do so? To an extent, sometimes you cannot get everything you want. I strongly believe he revenged in some way. Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa may actually be telling them himself that he's a winner at the moment, but it's not a clear-cut win at the moment. Eventually, Professor Jonathan Moyo has exposed him. If there is any person who exposed Emerson, the character of Mnangagwa, who he is, what he is thinking politically, that his views is to create a one-party state. He exposed him. His views is to actually have no opposition in Zimbabwe. He exposed him. We now know it clearly. His views is to create a dynasty. He trusts only his family members to be in charge of Zimbabwe. And his views is to actually steal all the wealth of the Zimbabweans when he established a Munu Mutapa company. That Munu Mutapa company is owning vast land in Zimbabwe. It's a company for Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. It doesn't declare how actually it is using the state funds. And this was allowed by the people of Zimbabwe to happen. And quite a number of rural communities, I will actually be dealing with this story. They have been moved from their ancestral land for Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's company to actually mine lithium. He is actually, Mnangagwa is the very richest man through lithium. Lithium is going straight to his pockets and all those around him. He is looting, one family looting the lithium of Zimbabwe and the gold of Zimbabwe and all resources that you can think of. That is why you see the country not moving forward. There is no development in Zimbabwe, but definitely there is development in Mnangagwa's family. So the sad news of the day, I know some may celebrate this, but celebrate this. It remains rumors that are circulating on social media. We cannot at this stage confirm them to be true, but these rumors are circulated by really the enemies of Professor Jonathan Moyo, who have had cozy interactions over the past few months or so. The interactions that were caused but very disturbing to quite a number of Zimbabweans. So we will await the formal communication from the family to confirm whether he's seriously ill. And if he is well, I'm sure through his account, social media account, he will actually distance himself from these rumors if they are still rumors. But that's the news. Professor Jonathan Moyo, in some circles, reportedly dead. Some they are saying he is seriously ill. It remains. Is he the one that was prophesied by Hubert Angel? Remember, Hubert Angel did not name the person. Said the person is walking dead. One of them you will see in around August. He would be gone. And Professor Jonathan Moyo is known for actually attacking Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, even though recently they were trying to establish ties again. He is known to be actually attacking Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. We will wait to see whether that's him, because obviously it was easier for us because the enemy that Mnangagwa once gone is his vice president, that is retired General Chiwenga, and also Professor Jonathan Moyo. He wants him also gone. That is the truth. And Professor Jonathan Moyo once wrote and said, Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is the most unforgiving man. If you cross his path, don't ever think. Look at what he is doing to his in-laws associated with his child. That on its own speaks volumes about the character, the depth of the character of the person whom most of you call the president. That is Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. You know, I love to call his name Emerson Tambutso. He is a problem. You know, why would you put a problem to be the president? So we are still yet to confirm these rumors. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.